Matchups are underway for the week. Starting with this one, which is, I gotta say, I thought one team was gonna get off the schneid on their losing streak, and we got Allen and the fake doctors, and it's not a low-scoring game. It looks like according to projections. So, some interesting stuff we got now. Lamar Jackson is not going to be in this matchup, so Joe Burrow gets to start against Ben Roethlisberger. I think they're both in kind of similar spots, but there's a potential with Claypool emerging and Deontay Johnson coming back, and Tennessee being very vulnerable against the pass, especially on explosive plays. I think I'm more inclined to go with Big Ben, not that Burrow. The thing with Burrow is he throws so many times that you're going to get a nice floor, but we've seen him kind of be sporadic all over the place. 16 points, 30 points, 24 points, 17 points, 4 points, 16 points. However, that 30-point outburst was against the same Cleveland Browns. But, with Ben, not that he's looked amazing by any means of the stretch. 28, 22, 23, 27, and then 12. So we finally had a dud game. This is going to be the game where I feel like they're going to have to mix and match their plays, and they're going to have to kick in that extra gear. Because I think the Titans, this is going to be an interesting game. Could be, I don't want to say low scoring, it'd just be a good football game, but I'll take Ben on this one. Let's go to the receiver matchups. Robbie Anderson, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry. I think this is a slam dunk for me on the Allen side of things. I am not big on Mike Evans. Definitely not big on Jarvis Landry. He's just too hurt, I think, at this point. Okay, well, the one thing that I said about Robbie Anderson last week was I was unsure because the Bears have been phenomenal of shutting down at least one receiver, and I had a feeling that Robbie was going to be the guy that would struggle to separate because of the amount of zones that they play, which freed open DJ Moore. So I knew that one of them was going to have a big game and the other kind of decent, not great, but Terry McLaurin looks like this is a smash spot for him as well. I think what you have out of McLaurin, to be quite honest, I think he's like this year's DJ Moore. I think he's such a good floor option because they're going to be trailing from behind. He doesn't have an accurate quarterback, and I'm not using it because it's Kyle Allen throwing to him to get the DJ Moore comp. But it's almost like this guy's going to get force-fed targets and just make every possible situation out of it. This guy's phenomenal. I think next year he is going to be a great pick. Touchdowns, I think, are going to be hard to come by, but this is the week if he is going to score. It'll definitely be this week. He is a definite sleeper to crack inside the top 10 for receivers this week. So I think Robbie Anderson included, by the way. I know I didn't touch that much on it. Robbie and DJ, I think, could have very good games. DJ Moore was really good against the Saints last year. Marshawn Lattimore stat has been targeted 18 times this year, has given up 15 catches out of those 18 times with a passer rating over 140 plus. Yikes. Which means whenever he's bad, it's because he's hurt. When he's not listed on an injury report, he looks really good, like the athlete that they drafted him to be. But clearly, I think he's got to be hurt. Nothing really official yet. He's just been kind of bad when he's been targeted. Pro Football Focus has him matched up against DJ Moore for the most of the time. However, the Panthers are one of these teams where they don't play their guys at you be the X, you be the Y. There's a lot of movement all over. Robbie Anderson goes in the slot sometimes. So I think it's going to be very hard to game plan to take out one of these guys. And with Michael Thomas potentially coming back, I think that Carolina is going to be in a situation where they're going to have to pass, which is how I thought they were going to be in. Now, here's where things get interesting. Alvin Kamara against Carolina, I think, is very, very good. However, Carolina's run defense, not very good. But for traditional runners like a guy like Latavius Murray, I think he's a guy who could definitely put a dent in some of Kamara's value as far as the rushing touchdowns are concerned. Devin Singletary, just no explosiveness. Buffalo has one of the worst run-blocking offensive lines. Take it for what it's worth. I'm just not big on it. I'm going to actually go with a little bit of a gamble here in the Mike Davis, DeAndre Swift side. I think the game script is perfect for both of these guys. Mike Davis, this might be the last week you can use Malin, and I think he'll go out guns blazing, man. Mike Davis being treated in that McCaffrey role. There are literally three guys that you have to own on the Carolina Panthers. It's Moore, it's Anderson, it's Mike Davis. I expect New Orleans off the bye to come out rolling. The only way they look bad is if Drew Brees can't throw the ball. So I think that Mike Davis will have a lot of usage in the passing game, decent numbers on the ground, and I'll say a touchdown. DeAndre Swift is an interesting thing. Finally breaks out, Allen. I know you're happy, but it's still a three-man committee. Both Peterson, Swift, and Kerryon Johnson saw 33% of the snaps. I feel like until one of those guys was to get injured, and we know it's not going to be Adrian Peterson because he plays through everything. So I think once one of those guys gets injured, it's hard to trust. It's the same situation on Chase Edmonds. I think he's a more talented player, but you're seeing that the snaps have not really increased. His valuable touches, however, have increased. So, and the fact that Patricia comes from the Belichick coaching philosophy, coaching system, this on paper looks like a fantastic matchup. I think the only way he returns value in this matchup, in my personal opinion, is if Detroit gets behind early and they're in pass game mode, because you start to see Peterson come off the field on pass game situations, which means it's going to be a 50-50 in that spot between him and Kerryon Johnson. Obviously, Swift, most talented guy on that roster. This could be a shootout, so I think he'll be involved. So I think your running backs will combine for a minimal of 2 touchdowns apiece. So even if Kamara was to go off, I'm not a big Devin Singletary guy. I'll lean Allen in the running back matchup. Logan Thomas, Hayden Hurst. So Logan Thomas, I think, scored again. It's another solid matchup. But again, I just don't think Logan Thomas is that good, or the team that he's on is not that good. Hayden Hurst, this guy sucks. Like, flat out. Sorry, Patrick. The only way Hayden Hurst scores touchdowns is if the offensive coordinator schemes him up where he's wide open and people forget about him. Literally, I think all his touchdowns have come off like that. So take it for what it's worth, man. And the thing about, what the hell? Detroit, they play a lot of man coverage. Usually when guys get wide open, it's zone blitzes. So I don't think you're going to have a wide open touchdown from Hayden Hurst in this one. But honestly, I hate both of these guys, so no negate attack. I know, Alan, you like to use that analogy. This is where things get freaking awesome for Allen. Kenny Galladay and Michael Thomas. If Michael Thomas comes back, I know he's dealing with a hamstring injury as of Thursday. Something's weird here. I know you can't sell Michael Thomas, but there's something fishy going on with him in New Orleans. Kenny G. This isn't a bold statement because it's a great matchup, but Kenny G, I think, will finish as the number 1 wide receiver this week. I mean, the matchup bodes well for him. Atlanta, believe it or not, actually better against the run than they are the pass, but I think it's because teams are realizing how easy the secondary is to attack, so they don't bother running the ball, if you will. But the metrics do show that the Atlanta front line is averaging only 3.8 yards a carry, which, I mean, it's not total dominance, but anything under 4 yards a carry is kind of league average. So they're not terrible on the run, but Kenny G, I feel like he might just win you this week altogether. No disrespect to Patrick. Brandon Ayuk, it's hard to trust his role with Debo back. Travis Fulgham looking like the real deal. He'll play tonight. So it's nice to see that. Washington defense against Dallas, I love that call. A lot of sacks going to happen in this one. I think this is a slam dunk victory. And I feel like every time I call on Patrick and I go through his matchups, I predict him to lose. He winds up winning or puts up a lot of points. But Alan Williams, congratulations. You will be on a 1-game winning streak. Alan, I don't want to get you really, really hyped up, but buddy boy, I think you actually have one of the most high-scoring teams this week. I know you're listening to this and you think I'm jinxing. And that's bullshit. I looked last week. I picked guys like David to win, I believe, and he still won, and he thinks the opposite happens. I even picked Andre, and he won. So don't worry about the jinx. I think it's done. But if your team stays healthy, I think, Alan, this is going to be a game where hindsight 2020 harsh comes out and says, Alan's team's looking really good after you put up 147 to Patrick's 112. Looking back over here, we've got two guys in matchups, decent matchups. Let's start with the first guy who took down the only undefeated team left last week, Rob Coffey. I know it's a matchup you don't want to get too hyped up about because you know you did not have to go against Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. So I understand that you're not as hyped after that victory. Alex almost made a comeback, and again, I don't know what Harsh was seeing. I thought he was going to win when he had Tyreek Hill, even though he didn't do anything. It looks like Josh Allen didn't come through for you, and you lost, I think, by 2 points. It was a close matchup. I think that Dallas-Arizona game, man, a lot of matchups almost got decided by that one. So let's talk about it. We've got a brand new Big Face Coffee team. Alex dealing with some injuries. He does make a move as well. So, Alex, I don't know if you've listened to my matchups, but you bought a guy that I absolutely despise because he's getting older. And I know you were in desperate need of a running back. I don't know how it's going to turn out for you, buddy. So Justin Herbert versus Josh Allen. I think both of these guys are in fantastic matchups. I think that both of them are kind of around that same tier. Herbert, extremely athletic, very mobile, and Josh Allen, we know he has these upside games where he can just pop off at any minute. Josh Allen not being very good the last 2 weeks. This is a get-right spot. This is a fantastic matchup for him with a team that has totally quit on Adam Gase or Adam Gase quitting on them. Doesn't matter what you think. I think Josh Allen goes back to a 30-point performance. Justin Herbert, I don't know if this could be a flory game or an upside game based on the fact that it's Jacksonville. So the metrics show that if Jacksonville wants to kind of get out to a commanding lead, the pace of play is going to be up. Fun fact here, Tyrod Taylor, when he was the quarterback, Chargers' pace of play was kind of projected to be very, very, very low. But considering they've had injuries in the defensive side of the ball, and Justin Herbert gets the offense going, they are the top four in pace of play this year. They're a very fast-paced moving team. Now, obviously, it would probably be a lot faster if they had Eckler. They don't, but I feel like based on the way Justin Jackson is filling in, he's kind of been in this system before. He's going to try to fill that void as best as he can in this matchup. But Jacksonville's just been atrocious against the run, which means that if Herbert was to do anything, I think it's going to come down early in the game. Anthony Lynn is a running back guy. I'm a little nervous to see if they get out to a commanding lead and then Jacksonville can't keep up with them. That's my biggest concern as far as this is. However, this is the big however, this is a transition word. Chargers are very notorious for not putting away really bad teams like Jacksonville. So there could be an opportunity like that. But I feel like Herbert, he puts up 22 points. So I'll go with Josh Allen in a 30-point plus game. By the way, Coffee, that's just the way it is. It's not because I have both of the Chargers running backs. Will Fuller, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Darius Slayton. Okay. Will Fuller has his biggest test of the year to test his true matchup-proof base. The only game Will Fuller did not do good in it was against the Baltimore Ravens, which was a tough matchup, and we know that Houston has had tough secondary matchups pretty much the whole year. Jair Alexander ranked number 1 corner in the league. It'll be interesting to see who he matches up with. My money would be on Will Fuller. He's pretty much locked down central, and if Watson can't get the protection that he needs, there's going to be enough volume for Will Fuller, I feel like, to get by in the end zone against Jair Alexander, in my personal opinion. I think it might be one of those ugly stat box games, though. Again, I feel like Green Bay goes out to a commanding lead, and you're looking at a situation where it's the fourth quarter and Will Fuller only has like 2 for 30, and then a bomb late saves his performance. Basically what I'm saying is Jair Alexander will win this matchup, but for fantasy, you'll get the points that you need for it, if that makes any sense. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones is back. Calvin Ridley is back. They now get the Detroit Lions, who play man coverage, which dictates extremely well for both Julio and Calvin. But I'm going to give the edge to Calvin Ridley here because I feel like he's still a little bit more healthier than Julio Jones to burn Jeff Okudah over the top. There's another corner that they have who's kind of washed as well. Well, not that Okudah's washed, but we haven't seen it. Darius Slayton against Philadelphia. Now, this looks like a solid matchup, but Darius Slayton, I think, Darius Slay. I don't trust Daniel Jones to win that matchup for him. Mari Cooper looked still like the alpha guy in garbage time, but man, it's hard for me to trust any of these Dallas guys with Andy Dalton. Bottom line, Coffee is rolling on these guys to be his receiver ones, and I think it proves pretty decent this week. Josh Jacobs, David Johnson, James Conner, Phillip Lindsay. So right off the bat, I know Josh Jacobs is in a terrible spot. Tampa's run defense, and Josh Jacobs is not a guy who can win the matchups in the pass game. So poor Josh Jacobs, man, has really been getting stuffed against tough opponents. I love the talent, don't get me wrong. Oakland has had 2 weeks to prepare. Josh Jacobs might get healthy. Coffee, I think he falls in the end zone. I think his stat line looks gross. I think it's like 14 for 65, but he'll find the end zone with a sprinkle and 2 catches, saving RB2 value in this one. David Johnson, look, he has probably one of the best matchups you can ever have, but this guy sucks. So we're going to go down to the James Conner line and the Phillip Lindsay line. James Conner, workhorse role, man. You gambled on it. It's paying off for you right now. And this is a guy who is going under the radar this week. Tennessee really doesn't do anything well defensively. However, they're the type of team that when they need a stop, they get that specific stop. This is going to be a back and forth game. I think it's exciting. I think this could definitely go down as matchup of the week. But there's a lot of good matchups this week. Phillip Lindsay against Kansas City. As long as Melvin Gordon's in there, Coffee, I know you were like biting the bait on a running back. Phil Lindsay is a guy that I just can't trust. He gets the empty calorie touches that we like to talk about. The only thing I think he returns value is if Melvin Gordon gets in trouble again or he gets hurt. But that 8-point projected line is probably his upside is like 8 to 10. I don't see him breaking off a long one against the Kansas City Chiefs. So did I just talk myself into a winner side for Alex? No, because I think James Conner and Josh Jacobs might cancel each other out. And David Johnson is just very touchdown dependent. He's like AFC Todd Gurley, if you will. Like they just look like they're terrible. They can't get anything going on the ground. So I think the running back position comes down to a draw. TJ Hawkinson in a fantastic matchup. Hunter Henry also in a fantastic matchup. You're getting cock blocked here with your quarterback spot, Rob Coffee. Man, my back hurts. I'm sorry. TJ Hawk is in a great matchup, great spot, but they are still splitting him and Jesse James. It's a weird situation, but I'll take Hawkinson in this one, I think. Atlanta's awful against tight ends. The only thing that would really freaking suck is if Jesse James is the guy who catches the touchdowns. Coffee about to be triggered coffee point like 65. Par 65, my bad. Hunter Henry, dude, I don't know, dude. This guy just never, like, I liked him when he was, like, a waiver wire ad, like, what was it, like, 4 years ago, but, like, no thank you on that. Michael Gallup, Deontay Johnson, who's healthy, which I do like, Frank Gore, Mike Williams, I got to go with even, this is a slam dunk coffee side here. Philly versus Chicago, got to go with Philly in this one. All right, I'm done. Let's wrap it up. Big Face Coffee, I think, moves on to, what are you, 3-3? I can't even think anymore. Big Face Coffee. Let me just double check this shit. Oh yeah, you're gonna go on a 4-3. Alex, I just think that there's too many injuries to deal with as of right now, and obviously guys like Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins being moved, I think kind of affects you in a negative way, to be honest. So give me Big Face. All right, big man. Classic Vegas storyline. You know, Paul coming off a loss. This is not going to be good for me. I can tell it already. And I know you don't have the last guy in because you're dealing with a trade. I get it. Just give me a minute to sip this coffee and let me, like, digest this. Paul, you've been a competitor for so long. Me and you started in the same fantasy football league. So instead of me taking the, how would you say, the Max Mandel role and just rushing through this matchup, I owe you it to actually break down this matchup because I know that you do tune into these podcasts. I know you look forward to these podcasts, so I'll try my best to make a case if this team could pull an upset and get you down to 2 straight losses. So you're welcome. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what, man? If I had any running backs, dude, you know how excited I would be for this matchup? Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson play each other, primetime spot, 4 o'clock. and we have them going at it one-on-one. Whoa, what fantasy fireworks will be fired out here, Paul? Look, I like both of these guys, and honestly, dude, you like unless Chris Carson gets hurt, you've got the perfect counter for what I'm trying to do, bro. Kyler and Russ, man, it's gonna be fun. Russell Wilson is just accurate. We knew he was gonna be a beast. Kyler Murray is getting everything done with his legs. Passing wise, he hasn't been that terrific, but they're calling his number all the time, all the time. So I think Murray gets a rushing touchdown, which might be pretty beneficial. But look, this game is going to be a fast-paced game. Seattle coming off a bye as well. We'll see what their game script is going to look like. Gives time for Chris Carson to get healthy too, which you would love to see that. So Kyler versus Russ, I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think that one of these guys has such a dud of a game where, boom, it becomes the outcome. Like that, the quarterback position is the outcome of the game. Don't see that at all. Okay. DJ Moore, Jamison Crowder, DK Metcalf, and Stephon Diggs. Okay, Paul, I'm really going to try to make an argument because I really just want to skip through this, but I know you love this crap. So DJ Moore in a game script where I feel like Carolina's going to be from behind. He's a guy who can sneak in the top 15. I think him and Robbie might have a great chance. They're probably two of my favorite guys this week, in all honesty. I mean, New Orleans has been atrocious against the pass. So I like that. Jamison Crowder is just very volume dependent. With Sam Darnold coming back, though, I think we go back to him actually producing well, and that's because Darnold can roll out of the pocket. Joe Flacco, for obvious reasons, cannot. He was limited on Wednesday. Have not checked practice report as of right now, but I think he should be out there. And you, my friend, have Donkey Kong Metcalf, who's probably going to go off, and you have Stephon Diggs, who is probably going to go off. No, Paul, this is not a reverse Nikki Jinx. Only you, Johnny, and Harsh believe in that. I almost cursed. Believe in that BS. So all I'm going to say right now is this. Metcalf to Wilson, if Metcalf scores 2 touchdowns, Paul, this is literally like, thank you very much. I'll move on to next week. Because, dude, it's amazing. It's a great combo. Your trades have been phenomenal. I give it up to you. This is a guy that I think everybody was hyped up for, and you bought him at the right time. Steph Diggs against the New York Jets, I think he'll be fine as well. I think Steph Diggs finds the end zone. I think if you ask me, DK Metcalf and Stephon Diggs over or under 2.5 touchdowns, I'm taking the over. Thank you very much. Whereas DJ Moore and Jamison Crowder are guys that get volume. Well, what's his name? Moore's kind of up and down with the volume, but let's be real here. They don't score touchdowns. Paul, being honest, not being an ass. All right? Oh, God damn. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the running backs, and it just makes me laugh. All right, so Chase Edmonds and I almost called him Josh Jackson. Justin Jackson, Chris Carson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Well, another guy. The Seahawks stack has just worked tremendous for you, Paul. Clyde Edwards-Helaire should be fine, too. I'm not buying into this Le'Veon Bell BS. Chase Edmonds, as of right now, I have no idea if I'm going to put in Josh Kelly. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to tell you as it is. I got to look into the numbers. I got to see what the injury report status is looking like. So I could roll out both Chargers guys for all I know. I don't know. Chris Carson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, though, easily win this matchup. Okay, Paul? You got it? No ifs, ands, or buts. Kelsey versus Hooper. Kelsey obviously wins this matchup, but Hooper's trending up in the right direction, so that's why I said bye-bye, Dalton Schultz. Godwin, here's where I'm going to be. Here's where I'm going to be confident. I do like my flexes this week. Not so much Robert Woods, but you know how I feel about Lockett. Godwin, I know you traded for him. Rest of season, he's going to be a guy that's going to be very weird to own. I don't even know who you have on your flex, so I'll say I win the flex matchup. Kansas versus Green Bay. Yeah, I like KC. I like KC's defense. They've been pretty solid this year, but I don't think this is going to I don't see a 20-plus point performance out of KC to give me some sort of weird advantage, if you will. Paul, look, bro, you're coming off a loss. You literally have a Seahawks stack against one of one of the best teams to, what's the word? To inflate fantasy stats because they run plays at such a fast pace. So Paul, yes, I know I don't pick any winners, but like let's be real here, dude. The only way I win is if I need literally, I think, all my guys to score touchdowns against you. Yeah, I know you're gonna say, "Oh, come on, don't do this." Look, bro. And if Lockett has another 3-touchdown game that Russell Wilson throws him, could you imagine? Could you imagine this? Like Russell Wilson doesn't throw any touchdowns, and it's a Chris Carson game, but Lockett leads in like catches, and so it doesn't matter. Like you have me like, locked into a corner. Oh, Russell Wilson didn't throw any touchdowns, which means probably Chris Carson had a 4-touchdown game. So I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities, Paul, but I wanted to give you the respect to give an in-depth analysis. So you are welcome. I'll make the case for me. DJ Moore has to go off. Jamison Crowder has to get his targets, which he's been doing, but he's got to. Lockett's been quiet the last 2 weeks, but I do feel like this is the right opportune time to get him right again, especially because DK Metcalf is the talk of the town. Oh, superstitious thing, Paul. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but after the Titans won last week, DK Metcalf, because we know he's friends with A.J. Brown, goes on Twitter and says, "I'm a low-key Titans fan." And Russell Wilson gave him the eye roll. It's a Lockett week, baby. It's a Lockett for Lockett. No, I'm just kidding. I really just wanted to get you nervous, though. Look in the dictionary. Look for the word pretender. And you'll find both these teams in here. That's right, I said it. B Magic and who's this? Oh God, and Andre. Contender or pretender? It's a shame one of you got to win. So B Magic, I think you're the opposite. I actually think your draft was not bad. I just think that you traded away. Mostert is hurt again, so you might. I don't know if it's hard to say because Thielen, I think, was Aaron Rodgers for Adam Thielen. Anyways. All right, Aaron Rodgers versus Jared Goff. Give me Aaron Rodgers. This is no debate here. Keenan Allen, Chase Claypool, Brandon Cooks, Traquan Smith. Keenan Allen and Claypool are going to go off. Ezekiel Elliott and Aaron Jones, Todd Gurley and David Montgomery. I'm not even going to address this because you know how I feel about both of them. All right, I'll slow it down because I'm going a little too fast. Andre, because you're 4-2, I have to be reasonable. All right, so like Ezekiel Elliott looks like dog poo. But it's the Washington Redskins. Football team. So it's the football team. Aaron Jones against Houston is going to go off. He's going to go off for 45 points, which is probably going to cover half of Andre's team. So great job, B Magic. David Montgomery, awful. Trash. Todd Gurley, okay. If you want me to be reasonable and respectful a little bit, here's what I'm going to say about Todd Gurley, why I'm concerned. Other than the fact that he looks really bad, he looks really washed, he'll be out of the NFL next year. This is a new coaching regime, and he could probably find his way out of Atlanta quicker or sooner rather than later. I'm just keeping it real. Gurley is kind of an expensive Jordan Howard, man. Like, I don't like this guy. He's not scoring a touchdown. He's not doing anything else. Oh, we're back on the Gronk bandwagon, baby. Then versus Eric Ebron. Ebron to me is just a red zone guy. He's pretty much what he was in Indianapolis. Now you have Deontay Johnson coming back. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. So Gronkowski, the Gronkster. I'll go. Ew, gross. I don't know. Draw. Who is this? Oh my God, Dre. Dre, are you is Julio hurt? Dude, you're playing mind game. You do. I know what you do now. You put in your crappy players for me to look at that and think that that's going to be the guy. Oh, you are smart. All right, so look at this. CeeDee Lamb and Beasley will be okay. Which one? Oh, DeMarcus. I almost called him Denard like you did, and Nelson Aguilar. I'm not taking it seriously, Dre. Julio Jones will be in this, so I think if Julio Jones is in this, I do think that actually Andre wins the flex spot. San Fran or New LA, not big on them. Andre, I understand you're dealing with some injury problems, but I think that's what's going to really, really hurt you in this one. So, time for me to pick a matchup and a winner. By the way, I'm not going to tell you this because I really don't want to put the right guy in. I think that this B Magic team puts out a magical performance, and this becomes the blowout of the week. B Magic, you've got a lot of upside here, kid. I'm going to say 137 to Andres. I'm going to adjust with Julio in, Julio out, and I don't know about Mixon. So if Mixon or Julio are in, Andre will put up 111. If both of them are out, 79. I really, really wanted Krier to win so I could put this as a matchup of the week because these teams I feel like are still in my dark horse range of potential Super Bowl guys that can go on. You know how I feel about the vintage one. It's nice to see him start to get back into form, riding a 2-game winning streak. Reverse jinx did work. I called that crap, so don't come at me. Who is this? Krier? Krier, man, that Cam Newton game, because he started out so slow, man, really, really put you in the dirt. Damn, man, Juju Smith-Schuster is riding the bench. All right, Matt Stafford versus Cam Newton. I'm actually going to go Matt Stafford. San Francisco, bro. Does everybody remember a guy named Jason Barrett? Like, he's actually healthy. He's playing well again. Unfortunately, we know he might get hurt. So I actually don't like Cam Newton at all against San Francisco. However, it's not because I think he sucks. I think these passing guys that they have, he has nobody to throw to. This is such a terrible spot for him. I love Stafford, so give me that. A-Rob versus the Rams. He's going to go against Jalen Ramsey, but I think he actually wins that matchup. Keelan Cole. Well, here's an interesting fact about Mr. Cole. Keelan Cole could be in uptick for targets after DJ Chark called out Gardner Minshew. I don't know if that could go either way. Does Minshew take offense to it and go to Keelan Cole now? Or does he try to please DJ Chark? So Cole, believe it or not, has been a boom or bust wide receiver 2-3 range. 13 points, 14 points, 7, 6, 11, 17. Damn, why did you spend on him? I really wanted him. I thought nobody was going to touch that. Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams always the best combination you could ever get in a draft, so got to go with the vintage one. Jim Robinhood, Zach Moss versus Kareem Hunt and Ronald Jones. Kareem Hunt and Ronald Jones, I think, win this matchup by a landslide. I don't like Ronald Jones. We know it's coming. I'm sorry, David. This is if you're looking to make the playoffs and you need that one win, Ronald Jones is going to be the guy that costs you because once he fumbles the ball, not good. But I think landslide victory on the running back end. Darren Waller versus Kittle, due to matchup-based preference, I'm actually going to go Darren Waller. New England is not going to let George Kittle beat them. A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Kenyon Drake, Tyler Boyd. Deebo I don't like. A.J. Brown I do like. Kenyon Drake will go back to being really bad. And Tyler Boyd I think will be okay, but nothing spectacular. With the emergence of T. Higgins, it's almost like that's the big fantasy option that you want. I'll go A.J. Brown and Deebo. I think that Deebo and Boyd have a similar production. And I'll go A.J. Brown. Tampa against Vegas. New Orleans against Carolina. Bridgewater, when having to throw from behind, is a little turnover prone. Rushes a lot of his throws. New Orleans, however, plays more man than they do zone. So Teddy's a little bit better against man coverage. Tampa against Vegas. In theory, I think this is a great spot. But Oakland, or I keep calling them Oakland, Vegas has a healthy line, and I think that can negate the pass rush on a consistent basis. So I don't think that these guys are really, really good. The only way Tampa looks great is if Brady marches down the field, and then Derek Carr's got to be in pass-happy mode, whatever the hell you want to call it. Biggest surprise in this matchup is we have officially given up on Juju Smith-Schuster. My stance on Juju Smith-Schuster was he was a product due to Antonio Brown. I never really thought he was anything that special out of USC. Just gonna be honest. He will be with another team next year. They've already talked about phasing him out, which means that Claypool, Deontay Johnson are officially the new go-to guys. Juju Smith-Schuster, I just feel like some people think he's okay and he needs a fresh start. I have no idea. I don't know if he has to go with a team that's pass happy and pass first offense, because I feel like, to be quite honest, man, I really don't think he's anything that special. Anyway, that's enough of my rants. It's going to be an interesting matchup because I do feel like the advantage with Krier is those running backs. Kareem Hunt and Ronald Jones could be guys that can take him way over the top. Ronald Jones, man, just looks really, really good. And this is coming from somebody who does not like him. And it's not... Rookie year, it was a knock on his talent. I didn't think he was anything special. This year, it's because I know he has fumbling issues. So... Oh, man. All right. So Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams, I think, let's be honest, I think they scored touchdowns, and I love Stafford. The only area I'm concerned with Harsh is if those running backs don't do very well. Harsh, James Robinson, starting to fade just a tad bit. He's now, I was a little bullish on him calling an RB1. He's looking more like a boom or bust RB2, maybe? We'll see what happens moving forward in Jacksonville. Okay, who do we pick? Krier right now is the projected winner at 124 to 115, but I literally just can't quit the vintage one. Like, I love these guys, and this is without Jonathan Taylor. Something tells me you're going to try to move Darren Waller because you want to start Trey Burton, and I know you're trying to do that, but I don't think anybody's going to bite. I feel like Kareem Hunt, Ronald Jones are guys I love, and everybody else is kind of under the radar, though. I have made my decision. I know he is the underdog, and I think the projections are a little low on the vintage one. So I'm actually going to go with the underdog in the vintage one. Somebody's going to have to sleep with one eye open tonight. Johnny J. Fresh putting out a tremendous performance courtesy of Derrick Henry. And we've got Mr. David Sutton, who is finding ways, man, to get victories. When I saw DeAndre Swift go off, I really thought you were in some trouble, man. But you can thank my quarterback for saving your performance. Man, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring matchup, but I'm going to play the respect card. You have two, well, actually, no, I forgot about Paul. But you have two teams with probably the highest winning records in the league. Or, you know what I'm trying to say. Forget it. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go with Watson. I don't think that Mahomes is going to be bad. I think this is more like a 25-point performance. Watson is going to get down early, and that is recipe for success. With their defense being awful, they're going to have to be pass-happy mode. Watson, I feel like, has potential to be the quarterback one this week. Absolutely. I think that Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and I'll give you a sleeper. I don't know. Or maybe Josh Allen, but I'm not going that far. But Watson will finish. If he doesn't make it in the top three, man, I'd be shocked this week. Mahomes is more in my top 5, definitely top 10, but he's more in my top 5. Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, Deshaun Jackson, T. Higgins. Whoa, God. Why do we have so many stock in the Philly Giants game? Oh, this is gross. God, almost puked. Deshaun Jackson is not 100% healthy, and guys, nobody realized I had Travis Fulgham in Dynasty. So I think Fulgham's the guy to own there. I like the move for T. Higgins. You finally gave up on that slug in Houston, but T. Higgins is clearly the alpha in this offense. He's the guy who can stretch the field. Burrow loves him. Burrow throws he must average at least 45 pass attempts a game. It's ridiculous. So the volume will definitely be there. I know you're trading for AJ Green, but I'm not buying it. We'll go to Odell Beckham and Sterling Shepard. Who the hell is hurt that you have to start Sterling Shepard? Is Brown? Oh. Oh, this is gross. Why can't I get you on this week? Are you kidding me? Fuck. Dude, David, you're going to steal another victory. I'm sorry, I'm cracking up, having a gig fit. If Case Keenum starts, Odell Beckham will go off for 30. If Baker Mayfield starts, I think Odell Beckham gets 7 points. Sterling Shepard will get you 2 points. T. Higgins alone, I think, will cancel out the combination of Odell Beckham and Sterling Shepard. Bottom line. Okay. Derrick Henry against Pittsburgh. It's not a good matchup, but it's Derrick Henry. Darrell Henderson, it's like a middle of the pack matchup. J.D. McKissick. Boston Scott in a good matchup against the New York Giants. I think he gets, I don't know about volume, but I think he will get 10 points. And J.D. McKissick will get at least like 7. So I'll go Henry and Henderson just because I feel like Henderson at this point is clearly the guy who's going to be the workhorse in LA. As a K-Makers owner, obviously I hate to see it, but yeah, Derrick Henry will struggle in this matchup, but he'll probably fall into the end zone or break a 90-yard run. You love to see it. I got to go with the running backs. Evan Ingram and Darren Fells. Okay, well, I hate Evan Ingram, and did Evan Ingram do anything? Why, no, I'm not on Boston Scott's stats. What did Evan Ingram do last? Oh, bro, gross. Darren Fells. Yo, Yahoo got Darren Fells projected 5 catches, 78 yards. Get out of here, bro. Why would you project a right tackle? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that much of an ass. Fells is only startable if Akins is out. If Akins is in, go for it, kid. But yeah, Darren Fells. You know what? I hate Evan Ingram so much, I'm going to go Darren Fells. Julian Edelman, Jerry Jeudy, gross. I don't even want to see the rest. Cardinals stack is just going to put you in the dirt this week, Jay. DeAndre Hopkins will score 35 fantasy points. He will have 17 catches. No, you think I'm joking? I'm not. Christian Kirk will have 3 catches, catch one of them for 78 yards, and score a touchdown. Okay, no, let's be realistic. Jerry Jeudy is going to move into the slot now. Interesting. He's moving into the slot. Yes, I said that correctly. He's moving into the slot. So I don't know. Julian Edelman, no. DeAndre Hopkins, though. DeAndre Hopkins, okay. Here's my bold stat of this game. DeAndre Hopkins' numbers in the first half will outscore both Edelman and Jeudy combined. That's my bold stat. Christian Kirk, and if you just look at his points, he looks like he's back, but he's kind of not. He's still like not getting targeted that frequently. Him and Andy Isabella. The problem was him getting hurt made room for Andy Isabella, but why Kingsbury is the only thing I really can't stand about Kingsbury is take Larry Fitzgerald off the field, make Isabella your permanent slot receiver, and let these guys eat. But he's not doing that. I think until that happens, I think the target share, because they don't have any tight ends, literally Arizona is literally all target share wise, DeAndre Hopkins and like Chase Edmonds. Like they do, it's all Kyler's legs and DeAndre Hopkins, and then it's like occasional deep shots to both Isabella and Kirk. So Isabella being regulated to a deep threat is also killing Kirk. Like Kirk to me is a sell high because I don't think Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald never gets hurt. He doesn't come off the field. So Hopkins and Kirk, man, they are interesting plays. They are very, very interesting plays. So honestly, to be quite honest. Like Hopkins and Kirk are going to be nice. They're going to be nice this week. Kirk is going to beat Trey Flowers deep for a 78-yard bomb. By the way, that throw and that catch that Kirk made against Dallas, fantastic. But I think these guys alone, I think just like ice the game for Mr. Sutton. Because I don't even need to talk. Okay, no, you got Los Angeles against Jacksonville, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Signed, sealed, and delivered. We got ourselves a winner. I am going to go with my man. Not really my man. But Jay, you better hope that I pull a miracle against Paul because Paul's going to have a 2-game lead on you, buddy. I think Sutton not lays down the smackdown, but final matchup predictions. I am going to go 128 David Sutton to Johnny's 109.